Hello, good morning. We're here at Create with Beth Harrison. Today is a book signing for her. We now have a new West Virginia author, and so excited to host her here. She's also part of Create. She has works here, and it's Creating with Beth. And so here's the book that she's written. It's Poppy and Pumpkin's Winter Adventure. And so today you can come out from 10 to 3 and get your book. You have snacks and a signing up for a basket. But more than anything, I just wanted to come on here and do an interview with Beth so you can get to know the author. So if you don't get to come out, you can still purchase this and reach out, and we'll tell you how, and she'll tell you how in our interview here. So we're just going to get right down to it. And this is Beth Anne Harrison. And so Beth, we've been friends for a long time,
yeah,
and on and off, and like we lost some time together, but then the Lord put us back together again.
Yes,
and so I just am so grateful and thankful for you and who you are as a friend, as well as being a part of the ministry here at the studio. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
So Beth, what inspired you to write Poppy and Pumpkin's Winter Adventure?
Well, I love animals. I always have, especially dogs. And we had a dachshund. Unfortunately, we lost her to cancer, but she was just so funny. She would keep us laughing, and she just had this great personality, and she was lovable. And I have always been an adventurous person, especially as a kid. I was really adventurous. I was always outside. I was always playing in the snow and in the woods and the creek, and that's where you would find me. So I kind of brought those two together with my childhood, and then my dog Ginger became Pumpkin in the story. And I also wanted to include her dad. I don't have her mom in the story because I wanted the element to be the father and daughter. I just thought that was important. And that's really what inspired me to write it.
Have you ever thought about expanding this into a series of Poppy and Pumpkin's adventures?
Yes. It is going to be a series.
Okay.
And if you read the end of the book, it will lead into that next adventure.
Okay, great.
And that one will be out in 2026.
All right. How exciting. Okay. So how long have you always wanted to be an author and illustrator?
Since I was little. I'm going to say around 7 years old. Because I was always writing poetry and songs and stories and drawing pictures. And that's really when the seed of that dream was in my heart, was when I was a child.
Is there any one particular person? Because I know I have gifts and talents like that, similar to, and I look back, and in my childhood, there were certain people that were placed in my childhood that gave me that love for writing or drawing. Is there any one particular person you can think of when you're little that we can, I don't know, that you can share that relationship or...
I'd have to say my family. Excuse me, but I came from a very creative family.
Okay.
My mom's very creative. She's a songwriter and singer. And
you are too?
Yes. And my sisters are both very talented in art and music. My brother's a musician. My sister-in-law writes music. So I was around a lot of creativity as a kid.
Okay.
And actually, when I was a kid, my sisters and my brother and I would put on little skits and plays for my parents. And we would even cut things out of paper. And I was always making puppets and writing plays and stuff like that. So it was always there.
Right.
And I think ultimately God gave me that gifts and talent that I have.
Right.
Because He gives us all those gifts and talents, like we were discussing earlier.
Right. Okay, so we know when we have gifts and talents. Sometimes people perish because they lack the knowledge, they lack the education, because they don't know how to. So I know there's people watching this that you say, I had this great idea to write this book, but I can never do that because I don't know how to do that. I don't know where to start. I don't know where, I know first you start with, you have this vision and dream that you want it. And so how do you get that into fruition? And so, what I want to find out is, how long did this take you to write this book? Like, can you share how it evolved, because I think that is what we all want to know, especially aspiring authors. It's like, you know, I really long to do this too. How do I do it? So kind of like walk us through that step of the starting point to, hey, we have a book in our hand.
It started with the spark of the idea of Poppy and Pumpkin as characters. And then I built on those characters by creating them and decided what they were going to be like. And Poppy is this bubbly, adventurous little girl who's always ready for adventure.
Which Poppy's you, is that correct?
Yeah.
You as a little girl. So little Beth. Okay.
Yeah. And then Pumpkin is this cute, adorable dachshund who loves squirrels, who is obsessed with squirrels. And Poppy loves snow, and her favorite color is purple. So I think it starts with creating your characters and giving them something unique.
So did you have like a book that you would record this information in? Like, you know,
yes.
a journal or something?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of journals where I write story ideas. When I get an idea, I'll write the idea down first. Okay. And if I have any ideas for an outline, like what's going to happen in the story, I'll jot those down, and then I'll just keep building on it until I have the whole story.
Right. All right. So you have this idea, you develop the characters, you're writing it down, and you're recording the information. So then what?
Well,
I mean, you obviously didn't publish this yourself.
No.
I mean, you know, like, so did you have to, like, how did this become into book form? I mean, like, we have these sweet illustrations here. Like, how did someone else do this for you?
No, I did all the illustrations myself.
Okay. So are you, did you ever think that you would illustrate? I mean, I know you said you were an author, but like illustration, and I'm asking you this because I want her to tell you that you can do things, because she came to me. So I'll just let you have that story and about this. So
I always loved to draw, and I've always loved art, but I wasn't sure if I could illustrate my own book. And I had done a few drawings, you know, even at work, like when I taught school, and then I worked in a department store. I would, when my free time, I would sketch, I would draw, you know. I always loved it, but I wasn't sure if I was good enough to illustrate a book. And I reached out to you, my good friend, and I know that she's very talented in art, and I used to sub for her art class, so I asked her opinion. What do you think about these drawings? You know, do you think I'm good enough to illustrate? And if not, could you illustrate it for me? And she came back with the answer, no, you can do it. And so that gave me the boost of confidence, and I started working hard. It took me 3 years to accomplish this, but I didn't give up, and I just kept, you know, working at my talent until I thought it was good enough to be in a book.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, that we want to share, because we actually work here together in the ministry, and God gave me Beth. We actually are the Crush It Sisters, as well as the Holy Ghost Giggle Girls. We had a video on that, but literally He has brought her into my life, and in lots of different ways. He's orchestrating things in each and you know, through us and together. But the one thing that I think we like-mindedly would like to share with you is that you are capable, you are able. If you have the vision and the passion, it's been given to you. It's a gift. Yes. Okay. It's whether or not you believe and have that confidence, and like God gives you that confidence, and like if you just step up. And I think that's the greatest thing about art. That's the greatest thing about any creative outlet that you have, is you have it for a reason. And it's just a matter, are you going to not, you know, step up and say, you know, I can do this, and believe. And so she did. You know, we don't have to be trained in art education. Like, I have that degree. Doesn't mean, I mean, there are so many other artists out there that are self-taught and that do not have that degree, and they blow me out of the water. Okay. So life isn't about comparison. It's about, you know, hey, I have this gift, I have this talent, I have this ability, and I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to compare myself to anybody else. But the key word there is she said, I didn't quit. And, you know, good enough. I hate that word good enough. And I used to tell the kids all the time in school is like, you are enough. And it's not that your work, it's in everything in life. You are enough. Okay. You have to have that faith, that crazy faith.
That's right.
Believing in yourself, that you are enough. And there are so many things that you're going to accomplish in your life if you can just have that faith that you can do much more than you ever thought possible.
That's right.
So Beth was able, and I love that it took her 3 years, because that's a great lesson, is like perseverance, tenacity. When you run up against obstacles, you don't quit. Like, she was determined to write this book. She'd been given a vision to write this book. She had been given the story plot from childhood experiences. So a lot of the things in our lives are from the things that happened in our lives, and it leads to purpose. And so, you know, I didn't want to illustrate her book because I didn't want to take her glory at all. And I also wanted her to know that she was capable and able, and to empower her to do that. And so it's such a great, it's so cute, and the drawings are cute. And, you know, like, you know, she would send them to me, and I'd say, yeah, that's okay. And you might maybe fix this, fix that. But, you know, in all honesty, there are things that it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's also another lesson that we need to learn, is that people are not focused. We think they are, because it's a lie that we believe. But, you know, imperfection is the perfection. You know, I think if you can embrace the fact that you're not perfect, you're not going to be perfect, your book's not going to be perfect, because, you know, but it's good, and you did it. And so I'm so proud and thankful to have Beth here as my friend, and just that she did it. If nobody buys it, you know, and that's not, they are buying it, by the way, and you can buy it too. And please help her, because, you know, when you buy into someone's dream, you know, you are allowing them to create what's inside of them that will touch other people. And this isn't just a book about a dog. You can just into your own, it'll help you reflect into your own childhood. It'll help you, if you're a grandparent or you're a parent, to get out there and like do things with your kids that will take you on adventures, because the greatest gift that you can give your kid and your grandchildren is you, your presence and adventures, not monetary things. And so this is more than a book. Beth has given us more than a book. And so because of that, and because of her ability and gifts to make this happen, you know, I was talking to her, I was like, hey, you know, you had people who walked alongside you, and you told me who?
You.
Yeah, but who else was it?
I have a neighbor who's an artist, and she also helped me with deciding how to do the images in the book, and gave me some insight on that. And I had the encouragement of my family, of course. I used to call my sister and her 2 kids in Canada and read them stories that I wrote and get their opinions. And after I read this one, they said, well, is there another one? And so I decided, I think I'm going to make this a series. So those people all walked alongside me as well. And I had teacher friends that encouraged me. They knew I wrote, and they would tell me, you know, you need to do something with this. So there have been a lot of people along the way.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Beth?
I'm 60.
Okay, she is 60?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Oh, well. Okay, so she's looking fine. Okay, so 60, guys. The seed was planted when she was how old?
7.
7. Look how many years. But guess what? She did it. She did it. And you know what? That's the message today, not just sharing her book, but we want to give to you. We together want to give that to you. And you are never too old.
That's right.
You are, you know, you're still kicking as long as you're breathing. And as long as you're breathing, there's mission and purpose in your life.
That's right.
And I don't care about all the years that you think was wasted. It really wasn't wasted. It's preparing you It's building you, and it's all going to be used in some form if you let it, if you don't quit, if you don't give up. And so Beth, since she works here at Create, teaching art, and I asked her, would you want to facilitate a writer's workshop? Like, if you've ever wanted to write a children's book, like, hey, let's just have a class. And so I'm going to let her answer that for you, because we didn't really talk in great length as to details to what that might look like. But would you be willing to do that, Beth?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
I would. I not only wanted to see my dream be reality, but I want to help others see their dreams reality as well. And I would love to teach a class and just take you through the steps one at a time of how to accomplish this, and how to take just an idea and turn it into a wonderful story. And I've talked to so many people, even some personal friends of mine, who have said, I've always wanted to write, but I don't know how to get these ideas into a book. And I can tell you how to do that from start to finish, even with publishing. I self-published with Book Baby. They're wonderful. You can do it through a publisher, or you can do self-publishing, and that's kind of the way to go today. It's not going to cost you a fortune, and that way you'll have the money to do more books if you want to. But I can walk you through that process, and we'll have a good time as well.
Good. And okay, so as she was saying that, something came to my mind. Beth, do you have a degree in writing?
No, I don't.
Beth, do you have a degree in English?
No.
No. Okay, so my point here is I can go ask her, Beth, do you have a degree in art?
No.
No. Okay. Beth is an artist. Beth is an author. Beth is, you don't have to have the degree.
That's right.
Now, I'm not discouraging you from not going to college, but I'm saying all those people who are out there thinking, I'm not enough. I'm not this. I don't have that. I don't have this. You know what? You've got the vision. You've got the vision. You got the gift. You don't need the degree.
That's
Sometimes you don't need the degree.
Yeah.
I own a business, Create Studios upstairs, along with other. I don't have a business degree. I don't.
And she's wonderful at it.
Thank you. But I do have capabilities that God's given me, leadership and mind, just different things. And so it didn't stop me. And I don't want what you think. Do not rely on your own understandings. Okay, it's going to keep you back. So today we're here with author and illustrator Beth Anne Harrison. We hope that you buy her book, Winter Poppy and Pumpkin's Winter Adventure. I want her to read a couple pages for you. The book's kind of long, but just a couple pages to entice you to maybe pick up that book and read it and support her.
Poppy Jade Morelli was born on a stormy spring night on the coast of Maine. She was named after the red and violet poppies that her mom grew beside their lighthouse. She was part of a happy family. Her mom, Annie, was an artist and painted beautiful pictures of sunsets over the ocean. Her dad, Charlie, was a fisherman. From the time she could walk through the green grass in her bare feet, Poppy had a love for the sea, the sky, and the changing seasons. Her mom and dad raised her to love nature. They would spend hours at the top of their lighthouse looking at the stars over the ocean. They taught her how to find the Big Dipper and other amazing things in the night sky. Charlie would tell her fish tales about fighting sea monsters and making friends with blue whales. He made her believe that life was an adventure.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to leave that. Stop her there. Life was an adventure. Let your life be an adventure, guys.
Yeah.
Get up, get going, get moving. Be like Beth. Create. Do it.
And I want to share one of my favorite scriptures. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I say that often, when I feel like I don't have the strength to do something or I'm tired, I'll just say that even out loud. I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength.
And I'm going to share one with you too that I've got right here. Romans 8:28. Okay. All things work together.
For good.
For good. For those who love the Lord and called according to his purpose. So even if you're not a believer, we are, and we really, that he is who has made us all that we are. And so he uses it all, and it's our ministry to share Jesus with you. Not just a book, not just a class, but him. So thank you, and have a great day. And
thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.